Good afternoon, and welcome to Blessing Inspire Live. My name is Uko Blessing Offham, and I am your brand business growth strategist. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. As I said, today I'm going to be using something that we're all very familiar with to try to explain how we can better refine and have clarity on the services that we provide, on what we offer. So if you're new here and it's your first time joining me, I would love to recognize you. Could you say hello and say first time in the comments? And if you've been here before, can you do me a favor? Can you share this live with a friend, with a colleague, especially if they're Kingdom Woman business women, particularly a coach, or they provide a service? Could you share this live with them? And I'm trying to see how I can know who is here with me so that I can also engage. But if I'm not able to engage while we're on, I will come back and respond to comments because I don't think I'm seeing what I want to see right now. Okay. Yes. Provide a service. Okay. I just want to see whether I can see anything going on. All right. Okay. So what am I talking about? If you are a coach or a service provider, if you're in business at all, you have something that you offer. I just finished explaining that even in our group coaching program. I used an example. I'm not going to get into that here, but there's something that we're all very familiar with. At least I would think many of us are familiar with it, especially Kingdom Women entrepreneurs. And it has to do generally, it's something that is done all over the world. Every culture, every group of people, they have this practice. And that what practice is that? Marriage. So I want to use the marriage relationship or the marriage to explain how you as a business owner, you as a coach or service provider, how you need to refine your offer and your service and just use some lessons from marriage to also explain a few things that can help us have clarity. Because sometimes when we keep hearing some of these terminologies, they could get very confusing and like, what is she talking about? I have this statement that I make, which is all of us are in business. Everybody is a salesperson. The youngest child is a salesperson. Why? Because you're always advocating for something that interests you. And selling people on that idea to allow you to do that thing or to allow you to have it, right? So every one of us have sales skills. It's just that sometimes when it comes to business, we get a little bit ruffled up and confused and seem as if we don't know what we're doing. Okay, so let's get into the topic. I'm going to be looking at some notes because I want to keep this brief and short and to the point. Okay, so the marriage example. So the first thing is in a relationship, your spouse, if you're married, and anyone that is in a relationship, most of the time you have one person in mind. You have one person in mind that you want to be in a relationship with, except for some exceptions. So also with your business, so also with your services. Who is that one person? And that one person has a description. They have physical description, they have non-physical descriptions, right? From they have a beautiful smile to they're very friendly, they're very nice. So there are descriptions that describe the ideal person. I remember growing up, the question could be asked, who would you like to marry one day? Or who is your dream guy? You hear that terminology, right? Who is your dream guy? Who is your ideal man? Who is your dream guy? It's the same thing. That's the terminologies we use when we say your ideal or your dream client, because there is a version of someone that you are hoping, if you're not married, that I hope I end up with this. I would love to be with this kind of a person. Also in business, as a coach, are there clients, are there people that you would love to have as your customer, as your client? So the way to go about it is not to think general, is to think very specific, just as in a relationship. You're not thinking, oh, I want to be with, you have one person in mind. You have usually when you start having a liking for someone, it's one person. Is that one person that you have? When I say liking, I mean you're considering marrying, settling down with is one person. that you have in mind. So that one person, they have descriptions, both physical, both non-physical. They have descriptions that you can relate, or you can say, okay, my to-be wife or to-be husband is from this place, lives at this place, has this level of education, does this type of job. It's, hopefully for kingdoms, a believer, right? So we have descriptions that describe our ideal man. And because I'm talking to kingdom women entrepreneurs, mostly my brothers are welcome too, but you have a description of your ideal woman or girl, right? So also in business, if everybody is your customer, then nobody is really your customer. That means you're just a service for nobody. If you're talking to everybody, if you're serving everybody, what I mean by that is, even if your services touch more than one group of people, there's still a particular group of people that you have in mind in creating that offer and business. There should be. Okay. So we passing the who, because I'm looking at my time too. So there's one person in mind. This is your ideal client. This is your right fit. Just like I always use the terminology, the right guy, the right girl. This is the right person for you. Some people will tell you that's not the right person for you, and they will have reasons why that person is not the right person for you. So maybe that's an exercise that you can do. What makes this person the right type of client for you? What makes a client not to be the right fit for you? What makes them not to be the ideal person for you? Maybe you can have a list, okay, of both. Now, I want you to also, now we're getting to the pain points. We're dealing with what is the problem they have and the solution that you offer. Still using the marriage relationship, before getting married, what were the issues? What were the problem? If you're married now, do you remember before you got married? What was life like? What were the things that you were dealing with? What were some of the pain points? What were some of the pains you were experiencing? I don't want to go so much into so many things because it can vary. It can be very broad. It can be very specific. But generally, for many of us, it could be an issue of being lonely. That's how we felt. We might have felt lonely, right? And physically, you might have been alone, like you're by yourself. You don't have someone else with you. You might have been stuck, finding yourself like, I'm finished. I've done so many things. Now I'm looking to move on and start a family. But especially for kingdom women, I don't want to just start a family without getting married. I want to get married, settle down. Even for the kingdom men, I want to settle down and then raise a family. There are some decisions I want to make, and it's going to be pertinent, it's going to depend on who I'm with. And I don't want to make those decisions until, this area of my life is settled, right? So there's an unsettling. You feel unsettled. There are pain points. There are struggles. There could be struggles in so many ways. There could even be a struggle financially or otherwise, that the promise or the desire to get married will be there. There could be a need for love, for love, for joy, just to be in the company of someone else that loves you too. I'm just listing some of it, but there's pain. There are things that are going on in your life at a time when you're not married. It's the same thing with your potential client. They are what you're proposing to do. There are things that they are dealing with. What are those things? What are the pains that they are having because they've not encountered you, because they've not encountered your services? What are the pains? And is the pain something they want to solve? Is it something they want to solve enough that they're ready to pay and participate? I say the two P's: pay and participate to change. As we can see, when it comes to the marriage relationship, it's a pain enough that people are willing to pay. They actually will pay for services that will help them to connect to someone to marry. And they're also willing to participate. Many of these services, it may be a platform that they set up, and they are the ones that will upload their profile, that will, do, engage. So they're willing to pay and they're willing to participate. They're willing to implement whatever it's needed. It's a pain enough. It's something. So it's not every pain that some people are ready and willing to solve. Some people are okay with a certain pain that they have. So is this pain what your ideal client is dealing with? Is it painful enough? Not to say painful enough, but is it so much that they are ready, they're willing to pay, they're also willing to participate? Okay. And once you have that clarity on what their pains are, what their struggles are, how that makes them feel, then we can now talk about do they desire? What do they want? What is their expectation? So also with when you're thinking about getting married, you have an expectation. You have a desire. You have a desire for love. You have a desire for a family, perhaps to raise a family. You have a desire to live a better, more improved life. You have a desire to have companionship, friendship, help, assistance, whether it be even mentally with solutions or physically. You have a desire to be fulfilled. Okay. So there is that outcome, that expectation. There is what you're looking for, what you want. Okay. So in your program, in your service, in your coaching offer, what is the outcome that the person can look forward to having? What can they expect? What is it that they want at the end of dealing with you, engaging with you? Then the bridge is your offer. You're going to get them from the pains that they have to their desired end, to the outcome they want, to what they expect that is going to change their life. That is your offer, which is the bridge. And in this case, since we're using marriage is the bridge. When I get married, I am going to go from being lonely to having companionship, to having a friend. You see that? So I'm no longer going to be lonely. Of course, I'm not a marriage coach, so I'm not going into the details of whether you are lonely in marriage. If that is the experience, I encourage you to reach out to a God-fearing man or woman who is not going to compromise to counsel you. But your expectation is that if you're lonely, you're no longer going to be lonely when you're married. If you were, didn't have help, you are hoping to have help now. You didn't have a family, your expectation, the outcome that you desire, that you will start raising a family. Your life will be better. It's not that your life maybe is so messed up, but you are looking for an improved, quality of life per se. Because perhaps sometimes that could also mean change of location, change of status, change of money, because maybe now you can have combined income. You see, so there's an expectation. So what your offer, your program, what is the outcome that someone can expect? What can be their expectation? What do you think they want? Where do they want to end up if they take your offer, which is the marriage? And we can see that even in the marriage, there's a proposal. It's interesting. So you see, business is in every area of our life. There's a proposal. What's that proposal? Will you marry me? And it's so interesting that now there are even things that are done, like set up and all for, the proposal to come. And many times people are hoping for a yes, but there are sometimes the person say no. Because why? It's a proposal. It's a request. Marry me. Marry me. Marry me. And most of the time, when people say yes, I believe is because they believe and they have an expectation, they have a desire, and they believe that this person asking them to be their spouse is going to meet those needs, fulfill those needs. So that's why they accept the proposal. So I want to almost liken proposal to the sales. When you now make an offer and someone accepts that offer, it's like they're accepting your proposal. They're accepting to marry you. And the thing about it is, it's just one offer. You know, it's just one offer. It's not an offer to say, you know, I'm going to give you a car. I'm going to give you a plane. You know, it's just one offer. Marry me. Marry me. Marry me. So how can you stand out and have the chances of the girl or the guy, in this case, I think most of the time it's the man that will propose to the woman, saying yes. So this is where for your business, for your coaching or your service, the service that you provide, you need to be able to stand out and differentiate yourself, especially if there are other competitors. There are other people that are also, you know, trying to get the same person that you are after. So one of the things that you can do is to niche. You niche in your offer and you niche also in who you're going after. Just one offer or two. It's not something where I'm offering to do so many things. As I said, in this case, he didn't say, will you take this car? In the proposal, it's not, will you take the house? I want to give you a house. Will you, take this plane? It's just, will you marry me? It's not even all the other, it's will you marry me? It's one offer. And so it's a very clear-cut yes or no. Now, with that offer comes so many other things that could be a part of it, but the offer is just one. Will you marry me? And in that marriage proposal is the potential for a life of love and happiness. So if you want to stand out and differentiate yourself, one is to niche. And as I said, you don't just walk up also to anybody and you don't know them from anywhere and you say, will you marry me? They're going to get away and run away as fast as they can. So I put here also, before we get into that, because that's the last thing I want to share before I go. What are some things that can stand in the way of that marriage relationship? What are some things that can stand in the way? I put one, another love interest. If there's somebody else on the scene, somebody else they're considering, somebody else that's also been, trying to woo them like you, another love interest, the opinions of people they love and trust and look to, right? So how does that relate to you as a coach or a service provider or someone in business? The opinions of people they love, they trust, or look to, and this is where reviews, testimonials are important because there are other people that they may look to and respect. This is why even influencer marketing is powerful because these people have gotten a certain level of trust with their followers. So if they say this product is good, that counts a lot for them to also believe that this is good. Another love interest is competition, is a marketplace. You're not the only coach offering the service you're offering. You're not the only service provider, particularly offering the services you're offering. So these things can stand in the way. And then also, whatever way you are intending to help people, there are things that could fight against that. But that's going to be a topic for another day. I'll go into that. So finally, what I was saying before, if somebody doesn't even know you, they don't even have a chance to know whether they like you, not to talk of trusting you. But many times, persons do not say yes to a proposal to somebody they don't know. Many, I didn't say all the time, but many. And they don't also say yes, even if they know you, but they don't like you. They're not in love with you, as they would say. They don't love you. They don't like you. They don't want to be with you. So they can know you. They can know that you do this business. They can know that you have this offer, you have this solution. They can know that you're a guy, but they don't like you. So many things that are done, especially during that early days, is to build that like and love. And so when some certain things are done, it builds that love, it builds that like, right? So, okay, right? Because a gift what? Given to you brings out that, okay. So it builds that like. And then over time, as you're interacting with them And when you say, I'm going to pick you up, we're going to go on a date, you actually show up and you go on a date. If you say, I'll take care of this for you, you actually take care of it for them, it starts to build trust. So they begin to know, okay, I can trust this guy. I can trust this man. I can trust this girl. I can trust this lady. And so once you have they know you, because nobody's going to say yes to a proposal for marriage to someone that's a complete stranger. Most of the time, it's not done like that. They're going to say yes to somebody they know, but they're also going to say yes to somebody they love or like, and they trust. Now, are all these things always there in a marriage situation when it starts out? Sometimes it's not. And that is the same thing. And then what sometimes happens is that there are issues. So it's the same thing if there is a coming together of your services with a client and they don't really know you, they don't really like you, or they don't really trust you, there are going to be, some issues in delivering the service, in their involvement, so many things. So I hope that this example that I've used helps to really explain as a business person, as a businesswoman, how you need to be able to set up whatever you're doing and some of the things that you need to look at. Just look at it as if you're a woman, there's a guy that you're interested, that you want to marry. And if you're a guy, there's a girl you want to marry. And all the different scenarios that I have explained, apply it to your business. What are the things that stand in the way? Who is the person? What is the problem? What is the outcome should they marry you? Because obviously also for the guy, before he chooses you to propose to, he has an expectation of some outcome of what he is hoping will be added to his life. And also he's also having pains and struggles or things that he feels the marriage will answer. So that is also the potential client when they engage with you, they have some hope, expectation of what your offer would solve for them. But it has to be they have to know that when they get involved with you, that what is promised is what they'll get. I was going to talk about, their perception and things like that, but we'll leave that for another day. I'm so grateful that you joined me today. And if you're here for the first time, as I said, let me know, say hi. And if what I've been saying is useful and you found it useful, please give this video a like. And if you're looking for someone, if you're a Kingdom Christian woman who is a coach or a service provider, and you're looking for someone that will help you to grow your business and thrive, then I will leave a link in the description of this video in which you can use to book a call. And then we'll talk and we'll find out if we are a good fit. All right. God bless you. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day. I hope you have an awesome week. And I hope to be back here by God's grace next week. I will see you then. God bless you.